Hey, what's up everybody? So for this one I wanted to talk about what I believe to be the absolute most important thing ever, that being perspective. It's something that plagues and blesses us all the same. Too many times in life we listen to respond without actually understanding what was said or happened. This happens for a multitude of reasons, the number one reason being that you've only ever been you. So learning perspective and how to apply it on the fly without having to think about it too much takes time to learn. For a few years now I've been trying to talk to people about this, and it's still something I fail to practice from time to time. I really like the example of two people facing each other with a number on the floor between them. For the first person it's a 6, and for the person in front of him it's a 9. Now they can argue all day every day that they're both right. Which in this case they are both right, but the arguments usually come from this little thing called ego. Since we've only ever been ourselves, it's easy for us to feel attacked or defensive when you know something to be right and have someone challenge you. Perspective is realizing that you're not the main character of the story, and not everything and everybody revolves around you, so you start to listen to what happens and what people say to get the full story. Another example I share with people is how we sleep for 6 hours a night, 8 hours whatever it may be, we sleep and have a dream, wake up and we feel like the dream lasted all night. If you've ever tried to explain a dream out loud, you've realized how incredibly short the actual dream was. This is because all we remember was that one dream, and since we slept for X amount of hours, it's really easy to combine the two. We actually have a ton of dreams that happen in instants because time doesn't exist in our sleep. We don't know what the dreams were, so we excuse it as they didn't happen. A lot of times we take all we know as all there is to know. Which is a very bonehead way to live because none of us know everything. It's always good to go into situations level-headed and humble, ready to take up as much information from everything as possible. It's harder than other times to keep our feelings out of things, but when you finally start to do so you'll start to realize that things start to get a little easier. When you make an effort to see and learn things that aren't always the way you'd see them, you start to learn. Now you can start to see things from how other people think, which forms a connection between you two, and when you two both do that with multiple people, you go from thinking just as you would to a little bit of inspiration and thought from strangers that you've probably never and will never meet. So you can end up from thinking and seeing things through just your eyes, to metaphorically putting on the glasses of so many other people and seeing things in all new ways, now having heard a little bit about 12 strangers from just one person who connected with all those other people. Being like this makes you a more likable person when it's done genuinely. When you show people what they're saying matters and you're not trying to shut them down, they'll feel more inclined to explain things more, especially when they care about things. That could range from very small things like bumping into a stranger by accident, to sharing something personal. When you learn to see and understand that you have two eyes but only see one of everything, then things start to make sense. Never be afraid to ask questions when you're unsure of anything, because you can't always fill in the blanks alone. We get further together than we do alone, but we can't get anywhere together if we don't understand each other. The famous yin-yang symbol shows us perspective. It's what it's all about. The balance of things. Everything goes round and round, and everything has good and bad in it, no matter how minor. We choose to focus on the good or bad exclusively, which is normal, but we just can't neglect the other half, because the good and bad of everything is what makes everything what it is. Nothing is ever one-sided, so getting all sides in real time is better than shooting first and asking questions later. How many times in life have you wished you could go back because you acted too impulsively to a situation that could have had a more desirable outcome if you didn't just jump to conclusions? Learning perspective is something vital I feel everyone should learn, because even when we're right, there's always something more to learn.